Shalom uvracha, as we are about to enter Parshat Aharei Kedoshim. I'm speaking to you on Thursday afternoon. As we look at this Parsha, it's interesting. The Parsha, the double Parsha, begins with a discussion about a ritual, what we today call the ritual of Avodat Yom Kippurim, which is unique to the Kohanim, unique to the priests. Only the priests are allowed into the sanctum sanctorium. Bezot yavo Aaron el HaKodesh. Through this process, Aaron can come into the holy and eventually the Holy of Holies. It is a process in which Bnei Israel, the Jewish people, are very much spectators. And on one level, one would get the impression that holiness is only for the Kohanim, for those who have been designated for the role of serving in the temple, being there on a constant basis and making sure that things run smoothly. On the other hand, when we get to the second parsha of the week, it's kind of totally flipped on the side. Kedoshim to you, ki kadosh ani Hashem. There's a commandment that every single Jew is supposed to be holy, for God is holy. And since God is holy and we are created in the image of God, we are supposed to imitate God and try to reach an element of holiness. Now, holiness, not exactly like God in the sense of total otherness, of total transcendence, but there is clearly from the Parsha, the Torah makes it very clear that holiness in the way that we act, in the series of mitzvot, especially in how we interact with other people. And so there's a kind of interesting tensile balance that emerges that you might think that holiness is only something which is part and parcel of the priestly class, which was a theme in many, many ancient Near Eastern cultures. And in fact, in many Near Eastern cultures, they did think of the priests as similar to God, following God, but not the regular people, not the average person. One of the great moves of the Torah, of course, is the democratization of holiness, just like the democratization of knowledge. The Torah says that you put all the books in front of them. Instead of it being some secret manual, Sefer Vayikra is read by the entire Jewish people every year. It's something that they have access to. It's not some sort of mystical incantation. And so what emerges is that on the one hand, yes, we do need hierarchies, just like with Korach, when Korach said, Ki kol ha'ida kulam kedoshimu tochama Adonai, madua titnasu al kehal Hashem, the entire people are holy, and why are you overcoming? Why are you putting yourselves above the people? So part of what he said is correct. Yes, ki kol ha'ida kulam kedoshim, everybody is holy. On the other hand, he was motivated by greed and by power politics and other things. But ultimately, the idea that everybody is holy does not necessarily mean that everybody, therefore, that there's no structure, there's no hierarchy, there's no need for bureaucracy, there's no need for structure. We don't believe in anarchy. And so therefore God appoints at a certain point, for all kinds of reasons, certain people to run the temple, to run the avoda on a regular basis. Now it's interesting that after the Churban Habayit, after the destruction of the temple, this becomes much more minor. Yes, the Kohanim still are the ones who do Birkat Kohanim. The Kohanim are the ones who get the first Aliyah, but primarily the Avoda, the service, is transferred to daily prayer, and every single person is ultimately a priest. And at their table, the rabbis speak of the table being a mizbeach, being an altar. And so it's the ultimate democratization that starts in the Bible that continues after into the present day. And when we talk about being holy because God is holy, so there's a very beautiful Gemara which is relevant in this context. What does it mean to imitate God? The Nachash, the snake, at the beginning tried to entice the woman and the man by saying, "V'item kelukim yodei tovara." You will be like gods. You shall be as gods because you'll know everything. You'll be above everybody. You'll have inside knowledge of how the world works, about the cosmos, and maybe even metaphysics. So it's about knowledge. It's about power. That's the way the Nachash understood to imitate God. The rabbis, of course, had a totally different conception. When we imitate God, it's not just on the intellectual level, but it's mahu rachum afata heye rachum. As the rabbis famously say, can you follow? It says, "V'halachta bidrachav," you shall follow in his footsteps. Can you follow God, who is a consuming fire? But rather, when you imitate in his ways, in the ways that he acts in the world, and how he clothes the naked, and he takes care of the sick, and he tries to bring comfort to others. And that's kind of the elements that we are supposed to be imitating. The beautiful Gemara in Kiddushin, Ma'aseh Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shua, Rabbi Tzadok, a story of these three great rabbis. Shayu Mesubim bebeit mishteh beno shel Rabbi Gamliel. They were at the wedding party of the son of Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Gamliel omedu mashkelem, and Rabbi Gamliel was showing his deference and his sense of simcha by serving them. Rabbi Gamliel is the Rebbe, the Rosh Hashiva, the head of the court. Natana kos Rabbi Eliezer v'lo netalo. So Rabbi Gamliel gives the kos, gives a cup of wine to Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Eliezer doesn't want to accept it because he thinks that this is not respectful, that Rabbi Gamliel shows his humility by doing this. Netana Rabbi Yeshua v'kiblo. Rabbi Yeshua received it, a kos, and he received it and accepted it. Amar lo Rabbi Eliezer, maze Yoshua. So Rabbi Eliezer said to Rabbi Yeshua, what are you doing? Ani yoshvim Gamliel beRebbi omedu mashkelenu. Is that proper that we're sitting and we're being served by the rabbi? Amar le matzinu gadol mimenu sheshimesh. We find greater people who also showed that the way that they engaged in how they lived their life was that they served others, even those who were of lowly rank. Avraham Avinu Gedol Hador Haya. Abraham was the greatest of the generation. The Katuv Bo v'hu omed alehem, and yet Abraham stood above these Bedouins and provided for them. The Shema Tomru ki malachei hasharet nidmulo. You'll think they were angels. No, he only saw them as regular people. And therefore, Rabbi Gamliel, if this is the way that he wants to manifest his love of God and his simcha, that his son is getting married, then that's an act of imitating HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of taking care of us. Amar lehem Rabbi Tzadok, ad matay atem menichim kvodo shemakom atem oskim bekvod habriot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, meshiv haruach, u'maleh nesiim ored, etc., etc. Even God himself, who is the greatest of the greatest, and Rabbi Gamliel, who wants to imitate God, and who takes care and does all those things, this is what he wants to do. And so Parshat Kedoshim challenges us, recognizing that there is hierarchy, recognizing that there is structure, recognizing that we need a framework in religion, just like in politics and in life. At the same time, as many have noted, there's an equality of dignity, even if it's not necessarily of hierarchy and power and functionality, but ontologically, in terms of the very essence of the human being. Ki kol ha'ida kulam kedoshim. Yes, everybody is holy. Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani Hashem. You shall be holy. You shall strive for holiness, for I am holy. And you're supposed to imitate God, and you're supposed to follow in the footsteps of God. And you were created in the image of God, and you have the potential to bring out that godliness. And so, in all things that we can do in our life, during these difficult times and during normal times, we should always be striving for the Kedusha quotient and striving to make sure that we are able to fulfill that destiny of Kedoshim Tiyu, Ki Kadosh Ani Hashem, shall strive to be a Kadosh, both as individuals and as a community. And I wish all of us success in that endeavor. I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat, and hopefully at some point we'll get some, we had some sunny days this week, and hopefully we'll get some more sunny days in the weeks to come, and all the best in health and good health to everyone in the community, and we continue to daven for those who are ill, and we continue to try to do the best and help as much as we can those who are in need. Shabbat Shalom.